try to see the highest potential in others and help them in actualizing that, whether it's in your family or your girlfriend, your boyfriend, your spouse, your children, your teachers, your colleagues, your parents, whatever. If you just did that, that would create an amazing life for you. You would be an amazing human being. But of course, it's very hard to do this because this requires a lot of consciousness. It really requires that you're going to have some awakenings. See, it would require infinite intelligence and consciousness on your part to be able to see through the facade that these avatars, the way these avatars are acting out in this collective dream, to see through that, to see underneath that and to see the God in them. Like, for example, to look at Donald Trump and to see this kind of despicable avatar doing these despicable things in the collective dream, but then to be able to look through that, past that, see the God in him, and then even to encourage the flourishing of the God within. That would be the highest way to go about life and to interact with other avatars. This also explains why every avatar wants to be treated as though it were sovereign, because actually it is, in a certain sense. See? Have you noticed this? That basically every human being wants to be respected and treated as though he or she was sovereign unto themselves. Doesn't matter whether it's a child, an adult, a man or a woman, a rich person, a poor person. All of us want respect. All of us want our agenda to be put front and center. None of us really want to be playing second fiddle. Even those of us who do, it's only just because we've lost our way. If you were fully in your power, fully in your consciousness, you would want absolute sovereignty. Why? Your ego wants that. Why? Is it just because you're egotistical, narcissistic, and selfish? No, it's actually because your true nature is absolute sovereignty, because you're God. See, there's a real misunderstanding about the ego here. The ego is not just some bad thing acting out of selfishness. It's not just the devil. Really, the good intent behind the ego is, look, the ego is a fragment of God. It's a partial aspect of God. It's a limited, biased form of God. And without recognizing it, what the ego is moving towards is that it's seeking its full godhood. It's seeking full sovereignty. But the way it goes about it is very dysfunctional and delusional and never really tends to work. But the ego doesn't understand that because it's not conscious enough. So it's just doing the best it can. So the ego wants a bunch of money. The ego wants a bunch of love. The ego wants a bunch of sex. The ego wants a big house. The ego wants some fast cars. The ego wants to fly to Mars. The ego wants to build a giant company. The ego wants billions of dollars. The ego wants never-ending growth, right? Never-ending pleasure. A bunch of drugs just never stopping. The ego wants these things. You have to see the wisdom, really, and the good intention behind all these things the ego does. All of these are just failed attempts of the ego to recognize itself as sovereign, as God.